it to reason. Will you open your eyes?
Devin in Floral Park, how are you?
Fine.
Thanks for waiting.
Yes.
Oh, no, it's fine. I've been thinking about why people have this incessant urge to know about the beginning of the universe, which is inherently unknowable. I don't care what you say. And I believe it will hurt the scientific community if the Big Bang Theory, which we assert to be true, I know that we say that, oh, it's still just a theory, and if it's wrong, it's wrong. But unfortunately, if we keep putting out this Big Bang Theory, and it turns out to be wrong, it will give the religious community ammunition against us. And I believe that it's a religious desire that's making us stalk the beginning.
Hey, Devin,
Yes?
if you don't care what we say, why should we keep you on the line?
No, I'm saying, my question is, why do we incessantly want to know about the beginning? It's more of a, why do we want to know this?
Yeah, it's because of who we are. We're naturally curious. It's a big old honking question that we don't have a complete understanding of. Why wouldn't you want to know?
Well, wait a minute. I would like to just say that there's tons of people that I don't think even care.
Yeah, there probably
I mean,
are.
I work with
Yes,
people that I don't
and
think are pursuing that
another thing is
question.
that
But it's not a religious question.
They make it a religious question. I mean, there are people who make it a religious question.
The fact that people have offered religious explanations doesn't make the question religious. You could offer a religious explanation for anything. I mean, you could say that angels hold us to the ground as an explanation for gravity. But that doesn't make the question of gravity any less natural.
Yeah, and I would say that on the program when I address it, I normally point out that this is a theory put forward by physicists and astrophysicists, I guess, cosmologists,
Yeah.
and I hold no position on it because it's far above my level of comprehension. I know the most basic things that I've read, but I certainly am not one that would say that I'm qualified to defend that theory, and so I tend to just say, and so, what are your reasons for thinking God did it?
But your fear that this is, oh, if it turns out to be wrong, we'll just be given ammunition to the religious. No, and that's a completely unfounded fear, because what we're talking about here is a scientific theory. This isn't a hunch. This isn't a meager hypothesis. This is a theory, and that's the graduation point. And science puts forth all of its theories and models as tentative explanations, and they are the best explanations given the evidence that we have, and nobody's asserting that it's absolute truth. What we do know is that the Big Bang model has been confirmed by direct observation of cosmic microwave background radiation. That the predictions that this theory made bore out evidence. And so while it may be that our fundamental understanding of the origins of the universe change and continue to grow and continue to develop, I think that's inevitable, it's not like we're going to turn this on its head. It's almost impossible that we would turn Big Bang cosmology on its head that in such a way that it would give opening to religious models.
And my point is that we're trying to figure out what happened at the beginning, and you say that that's because of who we are. But look at who works on the Big Bang Theory. One of the major people who influenced it. I'm not sure of his name, but he was, I think, the person who coined the Big Bang Theory. Although the term Big Bang was actually used as an insulting joke. But one of the people who worked on it was, in fact, a priest.
I don't care.
I believe that the people who want to know about the beginning are trying to figure it out simply for a reason to talk about the beginning. It's a religious fear.
That's absurd. What difference does it make if it was a priest? Do you know how many priests and theologians have been responsible for scientific discoveries throughout the course of history? How many religious people?
Well, Hawking just came out and pretty much clearly stated that he doesn't think that a God is necessary for it based on his knowledge of it.
Yeah, and Laplace did too, but Hawking's a little newer. But the fact that somebody who, oh, look at who worked on it, it was a priest. So what?
Actually, for the beginning, it's not so what. For the beginning, it's more of, they're trying to exert some sort of force of, in the Christian example, form of Genesis.
Then why do they keep asserting that no God is necessary based on the physical models that they have currently available?
That's Hawking. I'm talking about.
Well, no, I mean, I don't know of anybody that's putting forward that Big Bang is evidence of God that is publishing.
No, because they know that would be inherently rejected by the scientific community.
Of which they are.
Yeah, and here's the other thing. Your thing is, oh, look who started this. Priests were doing it. Well, who cares as long as they got to the right answer? I don't care if their goal was to try and confirm Genesis. They failed. That's the point. They should be applauded for that.
Yeah, but I'm saying that it's irrelevant what happened at the beginning, and that trying to figure out what happened to the beginning is a waste of time.
Why?
We shouldn't really be trying to figure out the beginning. We should be trying to put our resources on something more practical. And if the Big Bang Theory is by some means proven false, that will, again, give ammunition to the religious community.
I respectfully disagree.
Right.
I respectfully disagree. In my opinion, you are tilting at absurd windmills, because I am of the opinion that no knowledge is a waste of time, and that this process of trying to understand our origins has led to some of the most amazing discoveries about physics and cosmology, which have benefits about how we're going to continue living after. These aren't empty questions. This isn't, hey, I really don't care who my great-great-great-great-great-grandfather had sex with on March 13th. That's not the equivalent question. These are big questions. And the things that we learn while trying to answer this question help us answer other questions. And some of those questions I think you'd probably think are kind of important.
Most certainly. I mean, like, for example, many of the advancements in the knowledge of the Hubble Ultra Deep Field, many of the advances in modern astrophysics have been due to an even study of black holes.
Sure.
Yes, because they're tied. But the point is that we're putting, I think, too much effort into figuring out what happened at the beginning, because it's inherently unknowable, and it's backed by this...
How can you say it's inherently unknowable? How do you know what's not ever knowable?
Because to go back to a non-falsifiable belief, to go back to what people say is an unfalsifiable belief, the beginning is inherently unfalsifiable.
How do you say this?
Because we're not there, and because any observation of it is only an observation of what's happening now. Trying to then extrapolate that, going back...
You can just as easily say that about evolutionary theory as like a lot of...
murder that happened the other day.
Fossil records, whereas we don't have fossil records of galaxies.
You have evidence that is here that...
Okay, fossil records of galaxies would be... Actually, we do kind of have fossil records of galaxies, because the universe has many of them, and they've been born and died, and we can look at them in various stages of progression throughout the universe. But what you're talking about by fossil record is absurd, because it begins with the assumption that universes form by the same means. I don't care, even if it is ultimately an unanswerable question. I don't know where you get off saying that we're wasting too much time on it. Exactly how much effort and funding is being spent on Big Bang cosmology? What is the science budget for that makes this a problem? What is the brain resource, the manpower being used on this that makes it a waste of time?
Because
do you have any numbers?
What?
Do you have any numbers?
No, I don't know numbers.
Then you can't. Then you're quantifying
all that money.
Then you're quantifying something that is not quantified by you. You're exaggerating. And on that note, I'm sorry, we have to go. The show's over. Thanks everybody for tuning in. There won't be a show next week because it's the 5th Sunday, but there will be the week after that. Thanks everybody. There is a show next week, and I'll be here. Damn it!
But I won't.